Okay, so I'm watching a video called The N-Word by D-Storm, and I decided to make a video response because the comment section didn't hold enough for what I wanted to say. He made really awesome points in the video. I was really shocked that you gotta watch it. It's a D-Storm, awesome videos, blogger, but he didn't just target the N-word. And that's what I found pretty awesome about him, because the fact that he didn't get angry or freak out just because of the N-word, he addressed all types of racism. And I just wanted to put out my thoughts. I know it really doesn't mean anything much to people because everybody has their thoughts and their opinions on racism, but personally I think that if we didn't have we all have stereotypes, but if we didn't respond to those stereotypes and we didn't become those stereotypes, then we would have possibly less racism. Just in general, I come from a very multicultural family, and this dude's video, he made a very good point that nobody is born racist, which is completely true, because, I grew up in a family with blacks and Mexicans, and sorry, I'm not politically correct, but, I grew up in a family with blacks and Mexicans and Germans and Italians, and we have some Asian people in our family even, and because of that, I didn't grow up hating a race or feeling like I needed to judge people. And, I don't want my kids growing up feeling that way. I don't want my kids growing up and thinking that because this person is a different color or a different religion or from a different country that they're less than, because nobody's less than. We're all people. We're all part of the human race. But I wanted to touch on stereotypes because there's a lot of stereotypes out there for every race and whatnot. And, sometimes we tend to give into those stereotypes, which just fuels racism even more, and I'm just throwing this out there as an example. So hopefully nobody takes it personally or offensively. But, I've seen from my own family that, we have the big trend these days is gangster rappers, which is awesome. I'm a big fan of hip hop, big fan of rap. I think a lot of it, a lot of the old stuff is pretty awesome. It speaks to the heart, and it's true. A lot of it, is true. But these days, it doesn't seem like we're rapping to get a point across. These days, it seems like it's all about big booty bitches and getting the paper and booze and all this other stuff, and a lot of my younger cousins and whatnot, they are subjected to this, and they're becoming that stereotype of black males in general, that they're uneducated or unintellectual, or that all they're going to be able to do is dribble a ball or spin a lyric, which is not true. That's not the case. There are so many rappers out there who are very intellectual, very educated, and yet they act like this. For what reason? I don't understand. Like I said, I'm a big fan of rap, something to dance to, I understand that, partying, having a good time. But if we didn't give in to those stereotypes, if we didn't act like those stereotypes, I don't think people would put as much weight on them, it sounds weird, but, like I said, I hope nobody takes these things offensively. There's a huge stereotype that bigger white women and black guys, that's pretty much it. If you're a big white woman, you're pretty much going to be with a black guy, or you're a redneck or something. I'm neither, personally, I like white boys, but I think a lot of it has to do with the fact that I grew up as a stereotype, My grandmother's a big woman. My mother's a big woman. My grandmother has only ever been interested in black guys. She's not interested in white guys. And let's be honest, we all have a preference. Not talking about just race. I'm talking about anything. We have types, But, I don't want to be subjected to a stereotype. I do everything in my power not to be a stereotype, you know? I come from low-income housing, and I do everything in my power to show that I'm not uneducated just because I'm poor. You know, I'm having a baby, and I don't want my child growing up in a world where racism is okay, or we feel like we have to succumb to a certain type of person to be accepted. You know, I don't think that that's fair. I don't think that's right. And I just had to put my thoughts down about stereotyping because, you know, that has a lot to do with racism. And like I said, if we didn't give into those stereotypes, then, you know, maybe racism wouldn't be fueled so much. You know, if white people didn't, I hate putting people in denominations, because we're all human race. We all belong to the same race. We're all put on this earth by God or Buddha or Allah or whatever higher power you choose to be in, or if you're into, you know, evolution, you know, we're all put on this earth. We all come from frickin' monkeys, if that's what you believe in. You know, so, you know, why the denominations, you know? But, you know, if white people didn't act like we own the world and you are, you know, we're the greatest race on earth, I blame, you know, a lot of people for that, like Hitler and, well, pretty much anybody in the early 21st and 20th centuries. But, you know, if we didn't act like that, then maybe what people wouldn't perceive us as crackers or, you know, dominating white people. We'd just be Chandelier. We'd just be Brittany. We'd just be, you know, Abraham. We'd just be DeAndre. We'd be whoever we are. We wouldn't be a race. We wouldn't be a stereotype. We wouldn't be this, you know? I don't know even if I make sense. I feel strongly about this because my entire life, growing up in the family that I did, it was very pressed upon that you don't judge people by the color of their skin or their financial state or their, you know, their heritage, their religion, their country, their anything. You don't judge people, you know. Who are you to judge? Who are you to throw rocks? Because everybody has flaws. Everybody has mistakes. And, you know, it's not fair. It's not fair. And, you know, I don't know. Like I said, I just felt strongly about that. Growing up, if we heard a derogatory term, we were meant to look it up in a dictionary. You know, when I was younger, the N-word wasn't a derogatory term. It was targeted towards black men, yes, in the dictionary when I grew up. It was an uneducated black man when I grew up. When my grandma grew up and had to look it up in her dictionary, it was just an uneducated man, you know? It was just an uneducated person. So, you know, we're giving power to those words. We are the ones that are putting it out there and making it what it is, you know? I personally, sometimes I slip up, you know, generation and social media and whatnot, but, you know, even using the N-word as a term of endearment, that's giving power to the word. That's saying it's okay to use this. It's okay to call me this. You know, even if it's like, well, only my friends can call me this. No, nobody should be able to call you that. Your name is your name. You know, use the name you were given with, you know? Don't use derogatory terms as terms of endearment. That's not endearment. That's just not. Anyway, like I said, I don't even know if I'm making sense. Sometimes I just get so passionately about this stuff and I just go on a rant, but, you know, I just wanted to put my thoughts out there, and I think D Storm made excellent points. I love how he didn't just target, you know, African Americans, if I'm being politically correct, I guess, you know. He targeted all nationalities, you know, and I believe that's true. I don't think that there should be denominations or nationalities, and I think that we are all just part of the human race. Let's get the fuck over it and move the fuck on. So that's my thoughts. Hope I didn't offend anybody. It's just my personal thoughts. So yeah.